you ready for this?
You are now listening to Mi Gente Podcast, hosted by yours truly.
Yo, mi gente, how are you? Welcome to Mi Gente Podcast. And
Yes, sir.
it is a great honor and privilege to be here with our cast of this podcast. And before we start, I want to do a small intro of everybody so that everybody is aware of who is who, and you guys can put a name on the face. So here we go. First, we'll start with Maya. She is our
That's me.
Yeah, that's Maya. And then on the we have Daniel or Dani.
Yes, sir.
And Toti, and they are married.
Yes.
So just want to throw that out there before anybody trying to.
Well, we're all married.
Yeah. We're all married.
Yeah, let's get that right.
Well, no, just kidding. Yeah. But before anybody starts hitting on Danny, I just want to make sure that everybody is aware that Danny is married.
Yes.
Anyways, but no, yes, it's very, very excited. Very.
Who are you?
Oh well, my name is Cesar, and I'll be doing I guess the talking for a little bit, and then we'll open it up. But anyways, I just kind of want to talk about how we're all connected and how we're all involved in what's what, right? So obviously this is a family podcast or a family cast podcast, and we're all related. Danny and Maya are my first cousins, and obviously I'm their first cousins, but we come from a very, very big family. I think between our parents, they combine a total of 12 kids. And from there, it just branches out to a manada of people. And I just don't know all the family tree, but maybe one day we'll get into that.
Well, it's just a whole lot, and it causes a lot of experiences and a lot of interesting situations that we run into.
Exactly. And that kind of leads us to why we're doing this podcast, right? One of the main reasons why we wanted to do a podcast is because I think that we have something that we love to share in it's kind of our experiences with our family, you know, and not only our experiences with our family, but we like to also talk about current events and un poquito de todo, you know,
Including chisme.
you know.
So it's really cool because, like, you know, we're a huge family and we all kind of grew up with the same type of values and everything, but man, we have such a different point of view sometimes, and kind of understanding why people have a certain point of view, or you know, what the differences are. It's very interesting, and you know, I don't think we've ever really gotten the opportunity to sit down and actually talk about that within our family. So we'll probably see a few family members pop in here and there, and some friends or whatever, and just to try to get a little bit different point of view on certain situations. So
Exactly.
And then for those of you watching, we may seem like we're mad at each other, or like it's getting, you know, intense.
Right.
But it's all with love. At the end of the day, we're still familia. We still get along. We'll call each other. Yeah, so it should be interesting. Tune in.
Absolutely. And because we have such a big family, the dynamic of the family, it gets really interesting. Like kind of Maya was saying, you know, and alluding to, you know, we all have our differences of opinion, you know, and the way we look at things, we could look at it from so many angles, you know, and that's kind of why we wanted to do this podcast. And, you know, it started off with a certain select. The whole idea and how it started was really interesting because we kind of had an idea of doing a different podcast between Danny and I, and some of our other cousins, but for some reason it didn't work out. And so I'm like, I had that lingering in my mind, like, man, we should, because we're so animated, you know, we turn literally anything. If somebody says anything, oh, it's over. We're turning that into humor and to carrilla. And for those who know, you know, for all our white folks who don't know what carrilla is, we'll explain it later. But you know, we like to joke around about everything. And so I kind of wanted to expose that and share with our family, you know, and not only with our family, but, you know, whoever wants to hear this podcast, you know, so, you know, it's very interesting. And that's kind of how this became about. I said, Danny, let's do it. Let's get some girl perspective in this and our families. And speaking of families, if you you saw that Soti was just boom disappeared. She's actually attending her newly born baby.
Yes.
And Danny, if you want to share a little bit about that, you know.
Yeah. So he was born last month in July. Or I'm sorry, June. He was supposed to be born in July. He was born a little bit earlier. But yeah, he's a little bit of a handful right now. I mean, he's newborn. He's only a few months old. A month or so old, and yeah, we're learning to deal with this whole thing. We do have a daughter. She's going to be 6 here in a few weeks, and so yeah, it's going from one child to 2. It's been a little bit of a challenge, but it's something that we're getting used to. So if you see her pop in and out, it's bedtime, so sometimes he fights that a lot.
He's an angry child, so whenever he's hungry, it's like, I'm hungry now, feed me now.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm sleepy, it's like, I'm sleepy, I need to go to bed now kind of personality.
Wait, are you talking about Danny, or are you talking about
right, about all of us.
Okay.
Except from the daddy.
I'm like that too. I'm like that too.
So in general, I think I mean, one of the reasons that, you know, I wanted to do this podcast too is, you know, to share our point of view and our family and all that good stuff too. But man, it seems like when we get together with our family, it's like it reverts right back. Like we never skip a beat, right? And I'm curious to see if not only our families like that, what other families are like that as well. And so we'd love to hear other people's point of views, whether it's in comments in social media or whatever the case may be. And then just kind of hopefully some people out there can relate to kind of what we do and how we relate and how we interact with our family. And if you don't, then welcome to the family. We can interact that way with pretty much anyone. That's one thing that's interesting about our family is we're very welcoming. So you know, whoever's out there, reach out to us on social medias, and we'd love to talk a little bit more about your experiences.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, Maya, I wanted to ask you a question. So how many kids do you have? And also, if you can maybe introduce the IG site.
Yes. So I have 2 kids. A fur baby. His name is Leo. He's my first child. And then I have a 8-month-old baby girl.
Just so we're clear, it's a dog, the first one, right?
I thought it was Ube that she was talking about. But
her baby.
I meant 3 babies.
3 babies with her husband, yeah.
No, both of my kids are sleeping right now. So the dog is very attached to the baby. So when the baby's napping or sleeping, Leo's with her. So my husband just gave me a thumbs up. She's asleep.
Good.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah. And our Instagram page. So our Instagram page, let me go ahead and grab my phone. It's _podcast. And I can show you our logo, our first picture.
Nice.
Stay tuned. We'll be posting teasers, Cheesemith stories. We'll let you know when we publish our episodes and where and all that. So if you do want to follow us and get to know us a little bit more, or just see what the Cheesemith is, follow us.
Right. That's right. That's right.
What about you, Caesar? Tell us a little bit about yourself before we start recording our first episode here.
Yeah, so basically, I got 2 kids, a boy and a girl, perfect, a beautiful wife, and yeah, life is good. It's busy right now. It's interesting, a lot going on, but I'm eager to share, you know, what is going on here where we live, and I'm eager to listen to what you guys like to talk about, you know, and what you guys like to share about. So yeah.
So I guess where we move on from here, before we start our first episode, let's all share, I guess, one interesting fact about each other, so that way everyone can kind of relate to us a little bit more. We'll start off with let's start off with Maya.
Okay.
One interesting fact. I studied abroad. So I studied abroad when I was 20, turned 21 over there. Not that it mattered because you can drink at 18.
Yeah.
But I studied abroad in college, and I was studying in London.
Nice. We'll probably get into that at some point in our podcast series. What about you, Caesar?
Yeah, something interesting. I have 6 toes. Born that way. I don't know what to say. And no, I'm just kidding. No, I have all 5
You
toes.
had me going. I was like, wait, what? I've never seen your toes that I'm aware of.
I was like,
I
no
just have a bunch of
wonder.
fungus. That's why.
That's why you wear clothes, shoes all the time.
I know.
It's a Juanete.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, do you know what that is?
A Juanete?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so we'll get into that too.
Yeah. After you can explain to her what a Juanete is.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we I guess something interesting is that we live far away. I'm probably the one that lives furthest away from the family, and I guess that was one of the things that I wanted to connect and keep connecting with my family, because I love my family so much that I wanted to share that. So we have the privilege of living in Hawaii the past 26, 27 years that we've lived here. And we were reviewing with Maya, because she just recently came and visited us, that it's been that long, 27 years has gone by. And we hear when they ask us, hey, where do you vacation? We go to Hayward.
Right.
What? Yeah. Yeah, we go to Hayward in Fresno. That's where we love to vacation. Yeah, so they're like looking at me very, very, very weird. I'm like, yeah, well,
Well, where can you vacation if you live in paradise, right? I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyways, we did go to Vegas recently, and that was an eye-opener, but we'll share that experience later. But yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Soti, what about you?
Me, first of all, I am not related. I'm an in-law. So I'm here to just kind of give an outside perspective on things, because I am looking from the outside in.
Yeah.
Something interesting about myself is, and I don't think I share this a lot, but I was born without a rib.
Yeah.
I found that out 3-4 years ago.
Oh,
So there's
wow.
nothing there. There's not even a stub. I was just born without a rib.
Oh my God.
On
Does
my
that make you
right
more
side.
flexible, or?
That's why I have a smaller waist.
Oh.
Like that,
But
yeah.
only on one side.
Only on one side.
I'm gonna touch it next time I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Soti is very interesting, because Soti brings that cuñado con cuña type of perspective, which is the in-law side, so she's right. She's looking at it from the outside in.
I'm representing all in-laws.
Well, not only is she representing all in-laws, but she's actually representing a whole nother culture.
That's
Yes.
right.
She's we're all Mexican here, and she's Puerto Rican.
That's
And
right.
so that's why you'll catch me saying like, hey, do you know what we're talking about? And sometimes she'll say things and she'll ask me, hey, do you know what I'm talking about? Because the lingo's different. And again, it's a difference in culture, a difference in everything. So we can get into a lot of that stuff as well.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned.
Yes, they
yes.
do. So
And then-
anyways, go ahead.
Finally, I guess my interesting fact, I don't really have one. I'm not a very interesting person. No, I guess the only interesting fact about me, I would say, or something that I pride myself on is my work and my job, and I work in agriculture, and that's why I kind of live in the valley, and I love it, and it's a very interesting market that I'm in, and there's a lot to learn there that I'm not. Just because I say I'm working in agriculture doesn't mean I'm out there picking grapes. I'm doing a whole bunch more. So,
But you are very interesting. You make the best chocolate milk.
yeah, there's stories in there. Yeah, for
I
sure.
was gonna say, that's another story.
Yeah,
too.
Maya and I grew up together, so there's some stories that are to be told there. So
Did you use quick or?
I'll share the recipe later
All right.
on the next episode.
Nice. So stay tuned. We're very excited to share our culture, our family, and everything else above current events. Where we'll probably might get into some of that too. So stay tuned. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
All right.